In this video, we will go through the Fileset consumption APIs. These are REST APIs, which enable you to interact with your file sets to store and manage your files and their metadata. To demonstrate the APIs, we are using Postman as our REST client, but you can use curl or any other REST clients if you'd like. All Fileset consumption APIs need an authorization token, so let's generate one before we start with the consumption APIs. For this, you will use the Authorization Api. It needs to be an API key and its secret, which has permissions to perform the actions that you want on your file set. To learn how to create API keys and policies, please watch the Create API Key and Create Policy videos, or read our documentation. To generate the token, we have to make a post request to project URL/auth endpoint. You can find the project URL in your project settings. In the requested body, add method as APK, key as the API key, and secret as the API key's secret. This API key has permissions to perform all actions on our file set. In the response, we get an access token and a refresh token. Let's copy the access token for further use. Now that we have generated the authorization token, let's move to the Fileset consumption APIs. We'll start with uploading files in the file set. For this, we'll make a post request to the Fileset's endpoint, which is project URL/fs/fileset name. In our case, the fileset name is my fileset. Add content type header as multipart form data, and authorization header with value as the authorization token. The body has to be a form data. Add the first key as file and select its type as file, and choose the file to upload. Add the second key as data and its type as text. Here you can provide values for your default and custom fields. Now let's send the request. As we can see in the response, we got the new file set record with its unique ID. The status is in progress because the file is still being processed by Jexia. You can use your project's real-time communication API to get the events on further status updates in real time. Read Jexia documentation for more details about how to use the real-time communication API. Now, let's make a GET request to Fileset's endpoint to fetch the metadata of the files from our file set. Let's add the authorization token and send the request. In the response, we get all the records from the file set. You can also use filter parameters to get the desired response. To learn more about the filter parameters, please read the Fileset's documentation. We can also update the metadata in our file set. We can either update the records in full or partially. You can use conditions to filter the records for update. If you don't want to use the conditions, then record IDs must be sent in the request body. To update in full, we have to make a put request to Fileset's endpoint. Let's add the authorization header, and then update category to new in the metadata record, and then send the request. In the response, we get the updated data. To update partially, we have to make a patch request to the Fileset endpoint. Add the authorization header, and add in the body the Fileset record ID and the fields that you want to update. Let's update category to my test, and send the request. In the response, you get the updated data. Now let's try update with a condition. This condition will filter record based on this ID. Let's update category to test. And now add authorization header and send the request. In the response, we get the updated record. You can also update multiple file set records by sending them in an array. And you can use the other operational filter parameters to get the response in desired format. To delete Fileset metadata, we have to make a delete request to Fileset's endpoint. Conditions are mandatory to filter the data you want to delete. You can also use other optional filter parameters if needed. Let's use a condition to delete a Fileset record based on its ID. Now we have to add the authorization header and its value, and then send the request. In the response, we get the deleted Fileset record. These APIs also throw errors in case the request is incorrect or token is invalid, or there are some other internal issues. For more details on APIs and errors, please go through our documentation. Well, this is it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about your project setup, please keep watching our other videos.